Hello, welcome to the corner. I want to talk to you today about the Lord being our helper. I have found that often in my life, and I think this is true of many other people who live their lives mindful of their need to be truth, their need to be love, their need to be light and salt and making a difference in their environment, we tend to kind of get caught up in the sense of responsibility that we bear that we forget we have the Lord's help. The thing about the Lord's help, though, is that we have to ask for it and we actually have to let Him help us. I'm reminded of Martha and Mary's Martha's conversation with Jesus to get Mary to help her. And Jesus didn't really see that it was important for Mary to help Martha. But he seemed to hint that it might be important for Martha to not worry so much about what she was doing at the time and pay attention to more of what Mary was paying attention to. That's a little challenging for us. At least for most of us, we're like, okay, so what exactly was he telling her to put down? What exactly was he telling her she should stop doing so much or at all, or the way she was doing it? Like, what was his advice? There's one thing needed. You're worried about many things. There's one thing needed. I know all of us are saying to ourselves from time to time, well, the Lord could have made dinner for him. No, I'm pretty sure he intended very often when he came to Mary and Martha's house to get dinner from Martha. So, I don't really think that was what it was so much that he was planning on like, hey, you just sit down here and I'll make dinner. Because I do think sometimes that's what we expect. It's like, if God's not going to do everything for us though, then I guess he's not going to do anything. And we just get all scrambled in the head and we end up so loaded down and heavy. We end up feeling responsible for whether or not the people take what we say, use what we offer, get on the same page we're on. We tend to kind of feel like it's all up to us. But there are scriptures that talk about, some plant the seeds, some water, God gives the increase. Let me read you several scriptures here that I have. Psalm 27, verses 13 through 14. I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. See, if we get all caught up in ourselves, we're not watching God to do the work. We may be saying to ourselves, oh God, come through, oh God, come through. But we're still looking at it so that when whatever it is that we think is supposed to come through is coming through, we're like, oh good, I did the right thing. I did it right because it brought the right result, right? The goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage. He shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Once you do your part, let go of it. Give it to the Lord. Maybe the Martha story was more about Martha wanted to do everything the way she wanted it done. And the food may have already been prepared. It just wasn't pretty. Or they weren't doing table service or something yet. And so the Lord may have been just saying, hey, settle for a little less than what you thought you wanted or you thought I wanted. And come in here and be a part of what we're doing right now. Sometimes the way we are salt and light to our world is doing a lot less of the stuff and a lot more of the heart. One of the things too that we can take into our thinking is that perfect love casts out fear. So if we are really heavy and loaded down, maybe we're in a little bit of fear. Fear that it won't work out. Fear that they won't get it. Fear that we'll have too much trouble. Fear that, just all kinds of variables that can come at us. We could lose our job or whatever. But when we're operating with the Lord and the people that the Lord loves as the most important part of the picture, it casts out the fear, because then now we're focusing on something that's intangible, something that's almost not measurable, but something that's so real and genuine to the very depth of who we are. The opposite of love is fear, because perfect love casts out fear, not hate, fear. So when we are failing to see that the Lord is our helper, maybe part of it is that we're fearful and we've lost sight of His love for us. His love for them. He loves them more than you do. His love for them, the people that you want to reach, the people you want to touch. Psalm 54, behold, God is my helper. The Lord is with those who uphold my life. Amos 5:14 through 15. Seek good and not evil, that you may live. So the Lord God of hosts will be with you. Hate evil, love good, establish justice in the gate. It may be that the Lord God of hosts will be gracious. So the last one I'm going to read to you is Psalm 40, verse 17. But I am poor and needy, yet the Lord thinks about me. You are my help and my deliverer. Do not delay, oh my God. The love of God is big enough to carry you. And He loves those people you feel are important to reach. And that job that you're doing because you thought when you started it, you were doing it because it was important for the things that were important. And now you're all tangled up in too much responsibility, and you're failing to see that if God got you into this, He's going to get you out. He is with you. He is your helper. Do like the Lord was trying to get Martha to do. And do like Martha should have done if she didn't do it. And that's to say, hey, I'm going to sink in to the deepest part of what matters most and say, if it doesn't all go exactly like I thought it should, what matters is who I'm doing it for and the love that's entangled and woven and mixed in with having the Lord as my helper, both on their side in their hearts and on my side in the breath and the strength that He provides.